Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in one of my recent videos I shared my best purchases of the year 2019 with you. However, I think that talking about those fails, about the items that did not work out, may be just as helpful for, all of us. So today's video is all about my fashion fails of 2019. Before we get started with today's topic, it was important for me to talk about one thing, and that is the bushfires in Australia. So even though I literally live on the other side of the planet, I think by now we all know and we are all aware of the fact that the situation in Australia is beyond urgent. And honestly, it just felt wrong to totally ignore this topic and continuing talking about fun fashion stuff. So I just wanted to let all the Australian viewers that may watch this right now, know that you are in my thoughts, you are in my prayers. I hope that you are safe. And I hope that this tragedy will come to a soon end. I am actually just about to do some research on where I could donate. I will definitely donate today as I am filming this, and by the time that you guys will see this, I will already have donated an amount, because since I'm sitting here in Germany raising some awareness on this small channel and over on my Instagram, as well as donating or the things that I can do, to help. So yeah, by now I will have already shared my donation, where I donated to, on my Instagram as well. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to get this out there. And now I will try to raise my mood again a little bit and dive into my fashion fails of the year 2019. So in general, I think 2019 was better than the previous year. However, I still have a couple of items, unfortunately, that I have noted down on a little list down here. Fortunately, the list is not super long, but I have 6 items on my list that I got and that I ended up selling. So none of these items that I'm talking about today I will actually show you physically. I will just show you pictures because I already sold them. Whenever something doesn't work out for me, I actually sell it quite quickly because I want to keep my wardrobe fresh and functional, and I want to, feel happy whenever I open my closet. Also, at the end of the video, I will share the one item that, okay, there's cat wars over there and I have something in my eye. And if you stick around at the end of the video, I will share with you the one item that I did sell as well, but I actually regretted that. So let's start with item number 1, and that is my Marsh blazer. So this is actually a purchase that I made quite recently, honestly, and I got this blazer 3 months ago or something, and actually it is a beautiful blazer. The cut is perfect, the pattern is beautiful, the fabric is super high quality. There's actually nothing wrong with this blazer. But the thing is that I just don't wear checks. Technically, it's not a checked blazer. It has a houndstooth pattern, you call it in English, yes. But it's very, very small. So if you look at it from a certain distance, it looks a little bit more like somewhat of a check. And honestly, guys, I just should have known better. I tried on so many checked or houndstooth patterned blazers in my life, and I never got them because I always kind of knew in my heart I don't wear checks, I don't wear houndstooth. It's just not my pattern. It's just not my thing. Whenever I put on these blazers, I somehow always feel like, wearing my granddad's blazer or jacket from the 80s or 60s or 70s or whatever, and not in a good way. So the blazer just hung there in my wardrobe and I just never grabbed it, I always found myself grabbing my non-pattern plain blazers at the end of the day. I got so much wear out of all of my other blazers, but not that one. Another item that I ended up returning, actually, because I got this pair of shoes and I realized quite quickly that that just wasn't the smartest idea that I had at that point, so I just returned them right away. And these were my Balenciaga speed trainers. So, Leute, this little baby is in a war mood today. And now I'm covered in white cat hair. Amazing. The Balenciaga speed trainers. I think I even talked about them in one of my previous videos when I was still convinced that I would keep them as a, addition to my Dior Fusion sneakers, because I love my Dior Fusion sneakers. They were actually in my list of the most worn items of 2019, and I got so much wear out of these. I love them so much. At some point I was like, okay, I love the style of shoe. How about the idea of getting the Balenciaga speed trainers as like a second pair? You know, since it's the Balenciaga speed trainer, it's still a little different. As I said before, the Balenciaga speed trainers are a little bit more edgy, a little bit more sporty, and yeah, that was like my idea. However, the longer they stood there in my apartment, the more I thought, you know, you already have these shoes technically by Dior. You don't need a shoe for like 600 euros if you already have something that is very, very, very similar to it. Why don't you just, you know, wear your Dior sneakers to death, and then afterwards you can still decide to either get another pair of the same sneaker or you get the Balenciaga speed trainers. I just thought that this was the smarter decision to make, and I ended up returning the Balenciaga speed trainers because they were just redundant in my wardrobe. Another pair of shoes that did not work out, even though I loved them so much and it broke my heart, was a pair of Dior sneakers. How are they called? And these were the Dior TConnect sneakers in the floral pink kaleidoscopic cat hair everywhere pattern. These shoes were just like one of those stories where, you know, walked around them, circled around them for months, for weeks, and I did not get them because I kind of knew that they wouldn't work out for me. But you know how it is, on one day I saw them in my size, something just got to me, I tried them on, and once I tried them on, I loved them on my feet. They looked amazing and I got them. And also, just to get like over any option of being able to return them, I wore them straight away, I think like the next day or something. And as soon as I wore them for this one whole day, I knew why I initially didn't want to get them. And I knew that I basically just had thrown out a whole bunch of money out of the window. So the Dior TConnect sneakers are basically made of a very stretchy and functional material that's very, very close to like neoprene, like neoprene. I don't know how you spell it in English. I will insert the word in here, which is basically a fabric that you wear when you go diving. So nothing comes between this fabric and your skin. And in addition to that, a big part of the shoe is covered in, you know, a kind of plastic shell, which again is not the most comfortable and breathable thing out there. And then you have this very chunky sole, which just adds to the weight of this shoe, and these very beautiful yet very, very impractical shoes end up being very heavy as well. Yeah, I got these shoes in May of 2019 and it got a little bit warmer in Germany, and when I wore them they were not just quite heavy on the foot, but the fact that these shoes have zero breathing abilities, they were a catastrophe. They were so uncomfortable, and I know that this is not like an attractive thing to talk about, but you know, it is what it is. So at the end of this day my feet were super tired, super swollen as well, because of the fact that they were basically isolated from any kind of like airflow for one whole day. And of course, like the heaviness of the shoes added on to that. And I just knew right away after that day that these will not work out for my lifestyle. So if you are someone who, you know, is contemplating over getting these shoes, because they are beautiful, I love the design of them, I also love them in the plain nude or in the plain black color as well. If you are someone who's like not sitting in an office the whole day, and someone who also doesn't have to wear a pair of shoes like for one whole day for like 12 hours, you know what I mean? If you have a chance to, you know, switch shoes or something like that, if you just have like another daily routine than I have in my typical, you know, 9 to 5 work day, then these shoes may actually, you know, work out. If, you know, I could see myself wearing these shoes on the weekend when I go shopping or when I go out for brunch or for a glass of wine, you know, with friends or my mom or something like that. But I know that I will take these shoes off within like the next 3 to 4 to 5 hours, you know, then I think this would be like a nice kind of like lifestyle-y sneaker. But other than that, for every day in that kind of like, you know, average lifestyle, as I just call it right now, didn't really work out. Next item on my list is my Gucci t-shirt. I will insert a picture of it here, hold it on my YouTube channel. I think technically I did get it in 2018 and not 19. doesn't matter. I got it because I thought that this would be a beautiful color accent to my otherwise very, very neutral and light color palette that I have in my wardrobe. And this would be like the perfect summery, you know, sprinkle of color. And I also loved that the Gucci logo was not your typical very recognizable and iconic Gucci logo that you like, you know, see a lot on their t-shirts and on their clothing in general, but it just was like this bold retro logo. So I thought, you know, this is a little bit different. It is a logo, but it is not that recognizable as, you know, your average, like your usual Gucci t-shirt would be. So let's go for it. It was actually from the men's line as well, but I ended up not wearing it at all. I think I wore it like 2-3 times, something like that. Every time I wore it, I felt totally awkward. It just wasn't me, you know, I just didn't feel like myself. It was the bold color, it was the pink. By that time, I was still blonde. I don't know why, but for me personally, like a bold pink color and the blonde hair was just like a combination that I didn't feel comfortable in. It was just like too girly for me. I don't know. If you like that, good for you. I don't judge anyone. It was just like my personal experience. And then the logo added to that whole thing. And I just started avoiding this t-shirt, and I did sell it quite quickly on Vestiaire Collective. Hello. Next item. Another item that I got rid of in 2019 were the Balenciaga SS sneakers. I think I talked about these sneakers quite often before, and they were just like this one thing that everyone on Instagram had, and I didn't want to like them, but I somehow did. I actually ended up buying them pre-loved, so I was not convinced to get them brand new because, you know, the price was just like unjustifiable for me for something like that. So I got them secondhand for like a slightly better price than they would cost me new. And yeah, with them I had basically the same or a very similar experience as I had with my Gucci t-shirt. So I initially always wanted them in like the white, all white version, or in the pink and black and white version. But I actually purchased them in this particular color combination with those pastel pinks, yellows and reds and blacks and whites, and I should have known better, honestly. So yeah, I wore them a couple of times. They were actually more comfortable than the Dior TConnect sneakers, but they were so chunky. The way I walked in them was like I was dragging something at my feet, you know? And again, I also just didn't really feel like myself. I don't know if it was the color or like the whole shoe in itself. Yeah, I sold them also quite quickly on Vestiaire Collective, and I was just glad that I got rid of them, honestly. And the last item that I sold, because I just didn't love it, was one of my Dior scarves. Yes. So if you already follow me, you know that I have a passion for Dior, and especially for Dior scarves. Like, all my scarves are Dior. I don't have like a huge bunch of them. I have 3 scarves, and the 4th one that I used to have was this baby here, and I ended up selling them. Why did I sell it? Because out of all of these 4, this was just the one that I didn't really love that much. I actually wish that I got another black scarf by Dior with the Dior on it. I will insert a picture of which scarf I mean in here as well. But at the time, this scarf was just too expensive for me, so I got the other one instead because it was like half the price. And you know, the scarf was functional, it was fine, it was very soft, the quality is great. I can't really say anything bad about the scarf itself, like quality wise. I also actually got quite a lot of wear out of it because, you know, it was functional. There's nothing wrong about the scarf, but I just wasn't, you know, that much in love with it as I should have been. So I ended up selling it as long as it was in a pristine condition. A couple of months later, at the beginning of 19, end of 18, I think, got my huge Jouy plate, which I adore, which was very expensive, but you know, part of that scarf kind of like refunded this new scarf then, like this plate scarf. And yes, I'm actually thinking of getting myself the one scarf that I initially wanted since like 2 years or something, but didn't get. So it is a lesson learned. Rather save up for the real thing that you actually love, even if you can get something more or less similar for half the price, but that you might not love as much as you do or as you would love the real thing. And now, for everyone who made it to the end of this video, I will share one item that I actually regret selling, and I hope that I will be able to get something similar or maybe like the same item. I don't know if they will bring out the same style. I doubt that though, this summer again. And these are my Dior Slides. So why did I even sell these? So I got these beautiful slides at the beginning of 2019, and I initially was torn between like the very classic style that also will come out this year with, you know, the burgundy and beige or the navy and beige color combination. But none of these like very classic styles really like convinced me, and I ended up getting this particular one. This style had like a, you know, khaki green, like a military green, and a nude color combination, and the inner sole had this like kaleidoscopic pattern on it in leather, which was like, you know, typical or very iconic for the Dior Spring Summer 19 collection. I wore these a couple of times. They were very comfortable. There was nothing wrong with them. I think I sold them because of the green color and because I wanted something more neutral, which ultimately led me to buying the orange slides by Hermes in white. And I love these as well. But in the end, these shoes are so different, you know? And I think when I look back at the pictures, the Dior slides were so comfortable, and I would have worn the hell out of these if I even would have kept them for so long, you know, in summer. So I really regret not keeping them. The color combination, now that I, you know, think back, was absolutely beautiful. It was absolutely neutral still. It would have, you know, it fit actually very, very well with so many items that I have in my closet, especially for summer. So I don't know why I did it. I wish in this one case that I would have been more patient with myself. I just hope that I will get, you know, something similar, or maybe at the end one of the more classic styles this spring summer season, because they will bring them out in, you know, in like different styles, because they were just so amazing and I just should have kept them. I was stupid. So yeah, you live and you learn. So that was it. These were my fashion fails of 2019. I hope that these fails were helpful. I hope that I made mistakes that you can learn from before making them, and therefore hopefully save a lot of money that I obviously, partially at least, lost. So let me know what you thought of this video. If you have any suggestions, if you have any video ideas that you would love me to do, leave me a comment below. I love to chat with you guys. And also, if you enjoyed this video until now, I think this is a sign that you should definitely subscribe to my channel as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!